Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another live. Glad to have you guys here tonight. Tonight, we want to talk about Nvidia, still a buy, not a buy, but I want to spend a good chunk of time talking about Broadcom, Broadcom's split, ticker symbol AVGO, the split that's coming up here in just a few days. They're going to do a 10-to-1 split. So I think you guys should know some things about Broadcom. So I want to have some conversation about Broadcom tonight as well, because I think Broadcom is being sort of overlooked by some of us retail investors. The institutional investors, they're not overlooking Broadcom, but some of us folks that are retail investors, some of us have been overlooking it. Ticker symbol AVGO. So we want to spend some time talking about that. As you guys come in, let me know where you're coming from. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. If my audio is going good and you can hear me good. I had a few issues with that, so just let me know you can hear me okay. Appreciate it. Evening to you, Brandy. Evening to you, Namisha. Art of War's here. Good to have you, Art of War from Ohio, the state of Ohio. Somebody said I'm going to buy Broadcom stocks. We're going to talk about that right now, PC, on this video. Crafty Librarian, good to have you. Thanks for the thumbs up, T-Rob. Appreciate you, JC. And let's get into it. Let's have a conversation. Let me first share my screen real quick, because I want to just first kind of dig into what's happening with Nvidia, because Nvidia has been pretty steady. Okay, Nvidia has been pretty steady. We're trading. I think we ended today's trading at 128.20. And if you look at, let's go over the 1 month of Nvidia. It had that little dip down to 118, but it's pretty steady. Starting back in late June, right, or at least June 25th or so. Pretty steady. Little up, little down, little up. Trending up over the last 5 days, right? Sort of trending up over the last 5 days. I'm still an Nvidia investor, right? I have no qualm with saying that I do own some Nvidia with no problem. Also have no qualms with saying that I think it's still a buy. As of today, that's where it's at. It's still considered a strong buy, right? It's still considered a strong buy, even though, there's some, its PE ratio is probably, compared to some others and all that good stuff, probably not where some people might want it to be, right? But earnings per share, still not quite, but it's still a great buy in my opinion, right? There's some caution there, but for the most part, it's still a great buy. Nvidia remains a strong performer out there, guys, with really positive long-term prospects. So if you've been thinking about Nvidia, buying some more Nvidia, maybe not, I think you should consider its high valuation, right? Of course, you want to always consider your risk tolerance, your goals, and all that good stuff. But hey, I did a survey today on YouTube's community tab, and let me take a look at this Motley Fool article real quick, guys. And I'm going to be sharing my screen quite a bit, or at least a few times here. But let me just show you something real quick over here on the Motley Fool website. I think it was today. It said, hey, Nvidia, Microsoft, or Apple. I put what did I put? A poll. And I said, which one do you guys think? What's your favorite? Nvidia, Microsoft, or Apple in the $3 trillion club? And this article, I think this article came out a couple weeks ago. It came out and said, right now, there are only 3 companies in the world with market caps over $3 trillion. Apple reached $3 trillion. It goes on to talk about that, but it talks about also the case for each one of them, the case for Nvidia, right? The case for Nvidia, the fact that it was a 1.2 trillion market cap at the beginning of this year, right? Get how much it's grown. At the beginning of this year, it was 1.2 trillion. Today, it's over 3 trillion market cap. So that's just 6 months. That's crazy growth, right? So, and this is a chart showing their revenue change since the beginning of the year, into last year, and also showing their gross profit and net income change as well. So it says the chart illustrates the annual growth rate of NVIDIA's revenue, gross profit, and net income on a trailing 12-month basis. However, even more incredible is that the company's profitability is accelerating meaningfully faster than revenue. Get that. Profitability is accelerating faster than revenue. That's very important, right? It implies that not only are NVIDIA's products in demand, but the company is able to command robust pricing power. and keeping their debt low, right? The best part of this dynamic is that analysts don't expect the momentum to slow down anytime soon. So that's the case for Nvidia. The case for Microsoft has come a long way from developing just a Windows operating system and modern day computing. Over the last several years, Microsoft growth has come from its Azure cloud computing platform, right? Everybody's in the cloud, right? Throughout 2023, Microsoft integrated ChatGPT, right? And functionally across its ecosystem. From my purview, said this particular person, this first mover position gave Microsoft a competitive advantage over its peers, such as Amazon, Alphabet, that's Google, and Apple. So that's the case for Microsoft. There could be a case for Apple. We know Apple has had some big growth as well. As I've alluded to Apple was the first company to reach a $3 trillion valuation before they slipped back. But unlike Microsoft or Nvidia, I'd argue that innovation and new market opportunities were not the primary reasons. Apple has long been a pillar of Warren Buffett's portfolio, and it's easy to understand why. And so they go on to make, I don't want to dig too deep in this article, but they go on to make the case for each of the big three. Which one do you like? Which one do you not like? Which one do you think is best, etc. So I put that poll out there on the community tab on the YouTube today, just to get a feel for what you guys were thinking. And let me just see if I can find the results real quick. Since we're here, let's take a look at the results real quick if I can find them, and I'll tell you how the poll came out. Let's see here. The poll came out for, what's that say? Oh, nearly 400 people voted. And 47% of people said Nvidia was their choice of the big three. Almost 50% claimed Nvidia. 27% said Microsoft, and 25% said Apple. Now, as I talked about on another video, guys, I'm not a big Apple guy. Microsoft, cool. Nvidia, I like Nvidia for a lot of reasons. Microsoft, not bad. But Apple, never been an Apple guy. Hate to say it, but they're probably solid stock. They are a good stock, not solid, not probably. They are. But anyway, let's talk about why Nvidia. Leadership in the GPU market. Let's get it clear. We're going to talk about Broadcom in a few minutes. Leadership in the GPU market. We know that. Growth in AI and data centers. We know that. By the way, before I keep going with Nvidia, let me just run back to the chat, guys. Let's see. Connecticut's in the house. Evening, y'all. Who's evening, y'all? Brandy. Good to have you, Brandy. Let's see. Oh, thank you again for the thumbs up. You guys gave me that a while back. John's in the house. Good to have you, John. Raleigh, North Carolina's here. Real estate agent Michelle Jones. Good to have you. Detroit's in the house, right? Motor City. I'm gonna sell Nike and pick up Broadcom. Maybe not a bad idea, right? We know the struggles that Nike has gone through here, and they project they'll still go through struggles in 2025. By the way, let's see. New York's in the house. Good to have you. DC, District of Columbia. Still holding my few shares of Nvidia. Fantastic, Adrian. Checking in from South Georgia. Good to have you, PC. Let's see. By the book. Good to have you. Let's see. I'm skipping a few, so don't beat me up. How's it going? The Willy Willow. Good to have you here. We said Connecticut. Sam's here. Let's see. It's dipped to 116 at one point. Yes, Nvidia did dip to 116, but don't let the small dips fool you, right? Remember that commercial? Don't let the great taste fool you, or something like that. Let's see here. Namisha said Nvidia was farming ahead and farming head and shoulders candlesticks, bearish pattern, but it didn't form symmetry and maybe back on bullish trend. I think it will be back at some point, especially with their earnings report coming up. Nvidia has an earnings report coming up in August, and I think that's going to be a push for them. And we'll talk about Broadcom because they have one coming up in September. And we'll talk about them in just a second. 825 shares of Nvidia, deep in the green. Congratulations to you, Jeremy. Corey said Nvidia gets to 107. I'm spending the kids' college fund. Corey, Nvidia ain't going to 107. I don't think that's going to happen. That's just me. Somebody said Palantir's on fire. Is that right, Jay? Nvidia, the only reason it's not going to the moon yet is because they need a system to cool their chip, and they're currently working on that. Oh, they'll get it. That's coming. That's coming real shortly. Somebody said Microsoft for me. Microsoft has been a powerhouse for a lot of years, guys, lots of years. 825 shares of Nvidia. Yeah, that person's living large for sure. I ain't mad at you. Good day to you, C. White. Good to have you in here as well. Just checking out the chat, guys, as we get started. So again, Nvidia, leadership in GPUs, right? Graphic processing units, right? Dominant player. Lots of other people are trying to get into it, but that's gaming, professional visualization, right? You name it. They're also big in the data centers, right? AI and data centers, right? They're also big in any type of innovation products. They got new stuff coming out all the time. Nvidia is known for its continuous innovation, right? And they have strong products constantly coming down the line. I think the CEO, Jensen Huang, said, hey, we got a product for 2026. We got Blackwell this, Blackwell that. And he names his products over certain specific scientists. Am I right about that? I think I read that. So they're always getting into new markets. Nvidia. So is Nvidia a buy? I put a question mark on that next to the Nvidia name on the thumbnail. I did it because some people are looking as the hysteria dies down with Nvidia. Some people are, and I've had some comments and I had a couple of emails, are questioning their investment in Nvidia. Please don't. You got to get away from the emotion, right? Everybody was hype, starting to die down, starting to see some leveling off. And ultimately, I think we're going to see a little bit of increase in Nvidia over the next several months. So just be aware, guys, that they do have an earnings report coming up. Now, if that earnings report doesn't meet expectations, that might be another good time to purchase or buy, because you may see stocks not boost like we oftentimes see them boost when we have good earnings reports. Matter of fact, later on this week, we got some really big companies coming out with some earnings reports. I don't think technology, but just be aware that new earnings reports are coming up in August for Nvidia. And I think as we get closer, especially if we have a good earnings report, we're going to see some things that make people like, oh my goodness, I should have bought in 128 because now it's 140, right? So they got their Hopper and their Black Whales and all that stuff coming. They're big on new innovative stuff, right? Now, the other big key about Nvidia, why I want you to continue to invest, or at least think about investing in it, and why I may probably continue to put more money into it, is because of their strong financial performance. So again, we have an earnings report coming up. You'll see that as well. Strong ecosystem, strong, right? Demand for the product, crazy. Right? Stock performance, analysts, whatever, all that stuff, great for Nvidia. Let me see if there's another one I want to look at real quick. Let me share my screen with you real quick, guys. And you guys know how I work, how we operate here. We just kind of share our screens. And guys, while you're actually in the chat, feel free to chat it up. Let's see. Stock market today, market flirts with fresh highs. We got CPI earnings coming tomorrow, I think, tomorrow or Wednesday. And we got some earnings. Let's see. Stocks flirted with fresh highs. The S&P 500 finished at a new high value while the NASDAQ touched record territory today. This is an article from today, by the way. There's no date on it, but believe me, it's today. Yep, there it is, July 8th. So we're going to say Fed Chief Powell is going to deliver some semi-annual testimony on Capitol Hill in the next few days. That means he's going to be talking every 6 months. He goes up and talks to the Senate, and he talks to the House of Representatives, talks about interest rates, unemployment, inflation, etc. Right? So how is the market going to react to that? Usually not a whole lot, but it's some things. We got to keep our eye on what is said, because that's an indication of what may be coming in terms of Fed rate cuts, right? And so it says, Corning stock soars on outlook. Let me see, here it is right here. Almost if on cue on Thursday, all eyes will be on the next CPI report. That's inflation. Okay, that's headline inflation. Markets desperately want the Fed to enact its first quarter point cut to the short-term Fed funds rate. So the market wants that. The market is anticipating. Remember, the market is looking forward. They want them to cut rates as sooner than later, right? A cutting of the rates means it's kind of a boost to business. Remember that, guys. Fed cuts rates, businesses go out and say, money is cheaper to borrow. Now we can get that equipment. Now we can get that real estate. Now we can get that loan. They go out and start spending. So the market kind of wants to see that spending for a little boost, right? According to the Fed Reserve of Cleveland, annual headline inflation forecast to increase 3.1%, down from 3.3. So just something to think about there. On Friday, JP Morgan, finance sector, JP Morgan, the nation's biggest bank by assets, is slated to post the results of their earnings. Citigroup analyst boom, 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 who raised JPM at buy notes that loan growth for many banks remains sluggish due to high interest rates. So they're coming out with their earnings report on Friday. I think there's a couple of other big ones that's coming out as well. So that's Nvidia, guys. I think you should be considering doing your research at Nvidia and don't just get crazy with it and say, I'm upset, I'm mad, right? Let's talk about Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO. What does Broadcom do? Let me actually share my screen with you guys. Guys, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button for me. Hit the thumbs up button for me. Let me get that off the screen, by the way, that banner that's going up. Boom, let's take it off. All right. So, hey, Alvira, good to have you here. Frank's in the house. Good to have you. Analysts saying that Nvidia stock price is consolidating, moving sideways and steady, which is a healthy sign. Absolutely, Namisha. Very, very healthy when you're looking at Nvidia. So don't get uptight, get upset. You're cool. We got a lot of new investors. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it bug you. Let's go over and take a look at Broadcom stock real quick and see what we got on Broadcom. Because I think a lot of people, guys, and I know a lot of you aren't, but some of you are sort of slipping on Broadcom. Let me show you the numbers on Broadcom real quick. Ticker symbol AVGO again. So Broadcom stock, and I'm just going to kind of pan out and show you what it's done over the last year or so. If I can find it. Can't find it. Let me see. There it is right there. Okay, so looking at it on year to date, guys, Broadcom started in January. Back at $1,000 per share, $1,085 back on January 2nd. Now it's at $1,700. Tremendous growth. I mean, tremendous growth. Okay. 5 years, you look at that 5-year growth of Broadcom. I mean, 5 years ago, you could have bought Broadcom for $285 per share. So when you talk about the AI space, again, do not get caught up in the fact that Nvidia, which has a lot of name recognition right now, Nvidia is not the only company that's benefiting from this boom of AI. Right? Broadcom is having a heck of a run too over the last 4 or 5 years. Right? So as you see, Broadcom, when they announced their split, boom, went up. Now, since they've announced the split, kind of had gone back down. We got a little uptrend in the last week or so. Actually, last 2 weeks or so, right? But please do not slip on Broadcom, okay? Trading at $14.40 back June 10th. Now here we are a month later. It's trading at $17.45 with a yearly high of $18.28. My point is, do not slip on Broadcom. What is Broadcom? Let's have that conversation real quick so we can kind of be clear about what Broadcom is. Wow, I never hit that live. Isn't that something? Okay, so let's be clear about what Broadcom is. All right, let's see here. Excuse me. Let's just go over and look at it and just put. I'm just going to go to Broadcom's website, right? If I can find it. Yep, there it is right there. Is that it? Maybe. Is that it? No. Yeah, that's Broadcom's website. So who is Broadcom? Let's actually just pull them up. All right. Some of you don't know much about Broadcom. Some of you do. What are you designing? Still 25 years of Wi-Fi, all that good stuff, latest products. There's some news. But let's actually look at the tabs. Their products, right? Storage and system, wireless products, wireless connectivity, mainframe software, enterprise software, cybersecurity, and their recent purchase was VMware. So Broadcom, and we'll talk about it here a bit, but Broadcom has a habit of buying companies. So Broadcom products, they have some solutions, right? They are a company that, for the most part, whoops, got the wrong thing up. Bear with me, guys. So they're, for the most part, they're like a overall global technology company is what Broadcom pretty much is, guys. They design, develop, they do semiconductors, right? Wide range of semiconductors. They've got software solutions, but, so this is who they are, right? They're heavy in the semiconductor space because they got different types of semiconductors, right? for wireless, for networking, for broadband, for storage, whatever it could be. They're in all that. Okay. So solid company. Infrastructure. There was something on here. I think I saw it earlier. Infrastructure software is a big piece of what they do, right? So they do cybersecurity. I think I saw cybersecurity just a moment ago on the product side. Support and services. So the point is that solid company. Do your own research, but let's look at some of the things on Investor Center. Let's go to Investor Center real quick. We can get there. All right. So stock information, financial news. This is all on Broadcom's website. SEC filings. Let's go to annual reports real quick. And let's see here. 10Ks. Is there a recent 10Q? Let me keep looking here. Let's see here. I think I got it. I had it up somewhere. Oh, there it is right there. All right. Give me a second. You guys are not able to see that. I just switched up on you, but that's all right. So I think that's 10Q. 10Q for Broadcom Inc. Incorporated in Delaware, which, most 50% of all companies are incorporated in Delaware. Pretty small. Let me see if I can get that bigger. All right. So this is their 10Q. All right. Their latest quarterly reporting. And you can see assets, top line assets, 175 billion. Look at the growth in their assets year from one to the next, guys. Look at that right there. 6 months, 72 billion, 175 billion total assets. Huge, right? Total liabilities also didn't double quite as much, but they doubled as well. So they had a recent acquisition is what happened with them, guys. And they, like I said, they buy stuff quite a bit. So I suggest you dig into Broadcom. I suggest you don't sleep on Broadcom. Now, here's why we're talking about Broadcom. Broadcom is doing their 10-for-1 split coming up in just a few days, right? Broadcom doing their 10-to-1 split in just a few days. Guys, do me a favor. If you have Broadcom, if you invest in Broadcom, put it in the chat and let me know, hey, I invest in Broadcom. Let me know. Let me know if you do, right? Let me see if I have that article, a 10-for-1 split article. Let me just kind of run through that real quick. Give me 1 second here. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Let me show you this real quick. Kind of interesting article I ran across. And sometimes I just like to bring these interesting articles out. Let's see here. Give me a second here. You'll find this interesting, right? Let's see here. Okay. There it is right there. I'm so slow, guys. Bear with me. All right. Thought this was pretty interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. There it is. All right. Okay. Nancy Pelosi disclosed stock market trades made by her husband. He loaded up on AI plays like Nvidia and he sold Tesla. Our House of Representative member, Nancy Pelosi, who probably makes about $200,000 a year, says Representative Nancy disclosed stock trades. Pelosi, who is an investment professional, her husband, Paul, increased his exposure to AI boom by buying shares of Nvidia. Let me see when this was written. I think it was a few days back, 3 or 4 days ago. July 3rd, so just about 4 or 5 days ago. Let's see here. Paul Pelosi increased his exposure to AI boom by buying shares of Nvidia and call options on Broadcom, according to disclosures. Here are the trades made by Paul Pelosi, who I think he made his money in real estate in San Francisco. Purchased 20 Broadcom call options with $800 strike price and an expiration date of June 20th, 2025, with a trade value between $1 million and $5 million. Purchased 10,000 shares of Nvidia with a trade value between $1 million and $5 million. Sold 2,500 shares of Tesla and sold shares of Visa stock. Trading activity by members of Congress and their spouses has come under fire in recent years, with calls to ban Congress from trading individual stocks due to the sensitive or non-public information they may have privy to, right? Congress members have privy to stuff that me and you don't have privy to. That's real talk, right? So some people are saying, hey, it's a little unfair that your Congress members are buying and trading when they not only have relationships with CEOs and executives at these companies, but they may have information that me and you don't have. But for now, it's legal. And so somebody like Nancy Pelosi and her husband are, she's like the fifth or sixth richest a Congress member. Now, I'm not mad at her for being a rich Congress member, right? Not mad at her at all for being a rich Congress member. But I mean, you should just know that Nancy Pelosi's net worth is massive at over $100 million based on her husband's dealings, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that at all. 52nd Speaker of the House. She's the only woman in U.S. history to serve as Speaker. 81 years old. Should have a high net worth. She's been in Congress for decades. As a result, had plenty of time to invest. She only makes $223,000 a year, right? I say only. That's a lot of money, but she makes about she has a net worth of over 100 million. Kind of interesting. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. So, but Broadcom, 10-to-1 split. Keep in mind why a company split. Remember, we said Broadcom is trading over 1,700. Why does a company split? Several reasons, right? Increasing the number of shares outstanding and reducing the price per share, the stock becomes more available for a wider audience. Now, listen, remember, Nvidia did their stock split. And since the stock split, I think it opened at 120. Now we're up to 128 about a month later. So they've seen a little increase in their price, right? Which sometimes happens. Typically, a lot of times with a stock split, you see a stock go down, and then you see it come back up and get steady, just like we've seen with Nvidia, right? For some people, stock splits can be a part of your investing strategy, right? Some people, like myself, as I dig deeper into investing in single stocks, part of my strategy is looking for big information or bad information from good companies, right? Because of lower valuations that may occur after, and open up the door for possible opportunities to buy at a discount, right? But also, stock splits are big information for companies. Some of you just ran into the CMG stock split that happened with Chipotle, right? Was it a week ago or so? A couple weeks ago. And you bought in. That was a huge 50-to-1 split, right? Some of you, might want to say Broadcom is a place I want to be because it's a solid company, as we just went through and looked at their numbers and so forth and their growth. Solid company, but companies do this stock split so their stocks can look more attractive and attract more investors. More people are going to buy, more of us retail investors are going to buy Broadcom at $170 per share than who would invest at $1,700 per share, right? So it's attracting more people with a lower price. It's kind of the perception of affordability. $1,700 per share is the same thing as $170 per share with 10 shares. It's the same exact thing, but it's a perception of affordability, right? It also, the thing about stock splits I like is that it signals to me that a company is anticipating some continued growth, right? It signals the confidence that a company believes they're going to keep on growing and keep on growing. So I like it. Not to mention, look, Broadcom wants to be in line with some of the other companies. They don't want to have their stock at 1,700, and other companies in the same industry, the AMDs and all those guys, some of them are at 800 or 900, but 150, 180, 250. They want to kind of be in line with the others, right? So that's some of the reasons why they're doing the stock split. My question to you, and I think I asked you a while back, was, do you own Broadcom? Let me see. Did you guys answer that earlier? I might have missed it. Let me go back and look here. Somebody said Broadcom is lit. I think that means Broadcom is good, right? I'm not good with my slang. Let's see. Can anybody guess the price of Broadcom after the split? It'll be around 170, 180, 160, somewhere around there. Let's see. I own Nvidia. Going to look into Broadcom. Yes, you should look into Broadcom and even some others as well. What are your thoughts on Palantir if you haven't talked about it? Yeah, I did a whole video about a week or two ago on Palantir, and I said Palantir it will be interesting seeing how they get a chance to leave the government and start doing some private industry work, right? Because up to this point, they've done a lot of government contracting work and so forth. All good, all great. But does it transfer over to the commercial world, right? The world outside of the federal government. So somebody also mentioned SMCI, cool, not bad, like that stock as well. Sold all to buy Nvidia. Somebody said, okay, AVGO came back down a lot after stock split news run up. Yes, Namisha, very good point. Stock split run up. Everybody getting in a frenzy and getting in a frenzy came back down. Obviously, yep. But the question to you is Broadcom a viable stock that you're interested in possibly looking at? In my opinion, if you believe in the AI and the semiconductor space, and you believe that AI in your core values, in your strategy, do you believe that AI is going to continue to power the stock market? Is going to continue to power the S&P 500? Do you believe that the advances in wireless communications, the advances in networking, the advances in broadband, the advances in infrastructure software, the advances in, you name it. Do you believe that's going to continue? Do you believe that a company like Broadcom, who is a global technology company, designs, develops, and supplies a wide range of semiconductors and all that good stuff and software solutions, is there the demand for that still going to be there in the next year, 3 years, 5 years, right? If you believe it will, Broadcom is definitely a company that you should be checking out and taking a good, strong, solid look at, right? If you believe that this AI is a fad and it's going away, then you may want to say, I want Broadcom. Let me just keep Broadcom in VOO or keep Broadcom in, you name the S&P 500 ETF or index fund, right? If I'm pulling up VOO, VOO is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. If I look at their holdings real quick, guys, and the percentage that, say, a Broadcom carries in that ETF, let me go to the portfolio composition real quick. I would share my screen, but I'm too slow at sharing screens, right? So Broadcom, let's see here. It's going to be down there like the 15th or 20th piece of holding in VOO. Right now, Nvidia is way up there at the top because they're part of the Mag 7. Broadcom is not part of the Mag 7, but it's still the 12th or 15th biggest company on the S&P 500. So they only pull probably around 1%, hold about 1% of the weight in the bucket of the VOO ETF, whereas a company like Nvidia has about 6.5% or 6% of the holdings of weight in the bucket called the ETF called Vanguard 500 or the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF called VOO, right? So Broadcom, you can own Broadcom in your ETF and it's nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to alert you guys to say, listen, it's out there. It's available. It's another great stock. It's another great company that could be taking advantage of this AI boom. So let me run back to the chat here, guys. I've been just flowing. I'm down on a few on CMG, in for the long run. Jeremy, if you're in for the long run, I think Chipotle has a lot of good upside. They do have some good good earnings per share numbers as well. Let's see here from recent split evidence. Let's see here. No, I think I read that from Namisha. Let's see here. AVGO right here. Gotcha. All right. Brown Girls has some Broadcom. Excellent. Robert's got a couple of shares. Fantastic. Thanks, Robert. Let's see here. Going to have them on my schedule. We'll buy some. Yeah, you can always put them on your watch list, right? Put them on your watch list and, kind of monitor and see what they're doing and do your research. Look at their 10Ks, 10Qs, see what's up there. Broadcom has another earnings report in September. Let's see. Broadcom doing the opposite of Nvidia. Explain what you mean, Chakotay. I am grabbing 20 shares of Broadcom right now. Rocks, good. You need to make sure that you actually have done some research. I just showed you their website, a smidgen of their top line revenue on the 10Q. That's all I did. Do your research. All right, let's see here. Chipotle tanked today due to a rumor that serving size was getting smaller. Yeah, that'll happen. That's bad news. Is it a good company? Bad news for good companies that have good fundamentals is not that bad. It means you can buy some shares at a lower price, especially if you're dollar cost averaging in. So Chipotle, yeah. And don't forget its competitor that I mentioned before, right? Let's see. Broadcom, AMD, got a bunch of them brown girls. Excellent. Okay, fantastic. Could only afford 2 shares of Broadcom. Yeah, 3,400. But you're going to have 20 shares here in about a week or less, right? Remember, the split is coming up. I think it takes effect July 12th, guys. Don't quote me on that, but if I'm right or wrong, let me know. SMCI, great company. I don't know if you guys are tuned into SMCI, solid as well. Part of the AI boom, part of the technology boom, right? Again, I don't think that the AI technology boom is going away anytime soon, guys. And I just don't believe it will. And I have my reasons, right? I don't think AI is going away like technology, made a big bad splash back in 2000, 99, 2000. I don't see that happening because AI is built on top of technology. AI is built on top of existing technology. AI is built as an innovator and an enhancer of technology that's already in place and firmly in place. Okay. In the year 2000, technology was not firmly in place like it is today. Because technology is firmly in place, technology is entrenched in our everyday actions, everyday lifestyle. It's firmly entrenched. It's in our cars, it's in our healthcare, it's in our television, it's in our entertainment, it's in everything we do, you name it. Because technology is there and entrenched, an enhancement to that technology is not going to just die and go away. Okay. And I've listened to expert after expert after expert. Some say, well, this may be a AI bubble and we could be back where we started here 3 or 4 years ago. Some say, no, this is not a bubble. We're here to stay. In my opinion, we're here to stay. Okay. Just want to get my opinion out there. So sometimes I play the fence and write, but I'm not really all in on AI. I don't like to say all in. I like to say that I think that it's here to stay. Right. Let's see here. Frank, dump my CMG. Whenever I had $27, I buy one more share of Palantir. So we got some Palantir fans in here. Broadcom investor JB, one of the founders, Henry Samuel, is a smart cookie. UCLA School of Engineering is named after him. Absolutely. Broadcom is it's not a fly by night. It's not a fly by night. When you look at their history, it's solid and it's solidly ran. Right. And they've got a good share of the semiconductor space and all that good stuff. So I am not mad at you for being in Broadcom. That's why I wanted to do this video about it, to say, hey, look, Nvidia stocks a buy, in my opinion, still just my opinion. I'm no expert. Full disclosure, I'm no expert. Right. I'm just a guy following the markets. I'm not telling you what to buy, what not to buy. I'm telling you what to consider and what you should be looking at and doing your own research over. Always got to get that clear, because what happens is somebody say, hey, I watched these gurus and this guru said, go out and buy this. And then I went out and bought this and he was dead wrong. He made a mistake. Who should he be advising about stocks? I don't advise you about stocks. I just give you a heads up of what's out there and say, look out for this, do your own research, right? I don't want to have the liability of being responsible for telling you what to buy. No, I'm telling you what to pay attention to, right? Somebody said, happy birthday. Thank you so much, C-Dub. Appreciate you. It was yesterday. Broadcom up 7.36 after hours and went up 42.55 today. That's big swings, right? But when they split, when they do the 10-to-1 split, you're not going to see those big swings, right? You realize that, right? So don't think you're going to see a $42 swing in a day when it's $170 per share. Just like with Nvidia, right? Nvidia was like $950 one day, $1,100 the next day, right? We don't see those swings when they do the stock split. I think since Nvidia split, a month ago, which is not very long, right? I think we went up to $139, maybe, I could be right, and down to $118, which is quite a bit of swing for a month, right? So don't anticipate those swings always being there and always happening. Let's see. It's unfair. Congress members have an advantage. Yeah, the Congress members do have some. There's been some legislation put forward by a few Congress members that say Congress cannot invest in publicly traded companies. I'm not sure where that legislation is, but listen, Nancy Pelosi is worth $100 million. She's the 5th richest Congress member. So there's 5 more people who have more than her. That's amazing, right? If you think about that, that's amazing, right? So, but there's a lot of Congress members that are worth 700, 800, or 5 million, $10 million, right? She's not the only one that has a lot of money, but because of her husband, she happens to really, really, really be rich. Don't sell. It's reasonable. Let's see. Hello all. Hey, check the logic. I'm buying WMT as well as everyone shops there due to inflation. What is WMT? Let me pull that up real quick. Oh, tripping. Walmart. Silly me. All right, slap me. Boop, boop. All right. Check the logic. Let's see here. Thanks for broadcasting. Yeah, I said I'd go a little later, 7 p.m. today, as opposed to 4 or 4:30. People are still working. 7 p.m. is a good time to, really get out here and have a conversation and get some folks in here, take a look at it. Let's see. 29 shares of what, Brian? What do you have 29 shares of? I don't own Broadcom. Alvira, if you're into single stocks, cool. Let me say this too. I gotta say this because I got some ETF folks and index folks in the chat. I am a huge, huge, huge proponent of ETFs and index funds. Love them, especially for the newer investor, right? If you're a newer investor, I usually try to take newer investors and say, don't invest in individual stocks yet. Because newer investors, a lot of times they have to sort of withstand some of the issues and problems in the market, watch the market, understand the market, right? How to take emotion out of the market, right? A lot of times those are qualities that are not human nature, but they're qualities that you have to have in order to be an investor in single stocks. Otherwise, it's just like when I used to play fantasy football and try to watch football on Sundays. If you play fantasy football and you try to watch football on Sundays, that's what investing in single stocks are like. Because you're watching everything. You're watching this ticker. Oh, you're watching. Oh, what happened to my? Whoa, what happened? I got $50,000 in Broadcom. Man, what happened to Broadcom today? Oh my! And you're like nervous, right? You're playing fantasy football and you're watching football on a Sunday and you're flipping to all the channels because so-and-so defense just did that. Oh, we got an interception over here. Oh, so-and-so fumbled. I lost points. Now you got so much going on, you can't really enjoy the game. And when you invest in single stocks, and that's all you invest in, sometimes there's so much going on that you can't really enjoy the rest of life, let alone investing, because you're so worried and you're always on pins and needles and edges. So be very careful, and you can kind of thwart some of that, mitigate that risk by making sure you have various investments in single stocks across various sectors and all that good stuff as well. Let's see. Canadians in the house. Let's see. What up, country boy finesse? Good to have you here. Let's see here. I don't, but we'll after the split. So Willie Wallow says after the split, I'm going to buy. Let's see here. Q. Any thoughts on SoFi? SoFi. What is SoFi traded today? Let me check that out here real quick. Let me see what they're at. Or SoFi in general. Are you talking about SoFi Tech? Let's see here. That is okay. Any more? I'm just reading through chat. Let me see live chat. This is my first live on your channel. Happy to be here, Rob. Good to have you here as well, Rob. Stocks get over. Powell speaking, which he will talk about a recession, which he does last week. Okay, our son does not own Broadcom as yet. He has no loyalty to any company. Day trader. I'm not mad at him for that. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let's see here. 2 more years easily. Okay, could happen. Broadcom for me is a little pricey. Priced out, not much, but a little high. Yeah, but it's not going to be high come July 12th. It's going to be down in your range at maybe 160, 170 points, $70 per share. Let's see here. Somebody said Wall Street Chapper's decent. I like him. Okay, cool. Good place to be. I've heard of him. Let's see. Anyone that Chase now will I can't read it. Let's see. Would you sell some Nvidia to buy Broadcom? No, not necessarily. Now, both stocks, solid. Both stocks, big players. Both stocks, growth potential. Both stocks, well ran. Both stocks, solid ownership, solid executives. Both stocks innovative. Broadcom, again, has a habit of these acquisitions, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with acquisitions, right? But would I sell one to get the other? No, probably not, right? Probably not at this point. Okay. So 10-1 split is happening on Broadcom. 10-1 split. Do you want to get in before the split? Do you want to get in after the split? They're trying to attract more and more people, trying to show that, hey, this whole thing of Broadcom from $200 up to $1,700 is not a fluke. We are growing right along with the actual AI market. We are growing right along with the semiconductor market. We are growing right along with software and network enhancements. All that stuff is great. We're right there with them. Broadcom is a player, and I think they are a player. I really do. Let's see here. And I'm running through these chats again here. You don't get full Palantir news like other companies because of government secrecy. Yeah, that's the thing about Palantir, guys. Palantir is interesting because they hold a lot of secrets, right? Just point blank. They have a lot of secret information and secret stuff and privy to some secret stuff. So sometimes the information about Palantir is not there. Great point, Namisha. I appreciate you bringing that out. But that's sort of the issue with Palantir, right? People have an issue with, is there an ethical issue with Palantir, right? And how are they going to integrate into regular businesses that want to use some of that stuff? It's dicey with Palantir, and they have a really, really fired up owner, right? The CEO is the CEO. He's very, very fired up. Let's see here. Intelligent Investor Book. Yeah, one of my favorites, Jay. Buy VGT as an insurance move. VGT, not bad. That's Vanguard's technology ETF, right? Let's see here. And I'm just kind of running through the chat, guys. You guys got good stuff in the chat. My goodness, good stuff. Let's see here. AI been around since the 80s. Absolutely, it has been. But listen, AI was around in the 80s, but was there technology to support it? Probably not in the 80s. There was no technology around to support us having robots and all the things. But now AI is different because AI is being developed based on technology that's already in place, as I said earlier, guys. So I like it. I think it's here to stay personally. Now, that's one thing I will commit to. Yes, I believe AI is here to stay. Somebody said I'm up 35% in my portfolio. Congratulations to you. So Jay said, smart money, bro, you're not an expert, but way better. Listen, I try to apply common sense to stocks, common sense to ETFs, common sense to index funds and businesses and so forth. And that's what I try to do. And I think it does help. In about 10 minutes, guys, I'm rolling over to my other platform and I'm going live on the membership platform. So if you are a member, and it's only going to be for paid members over on the other platform, there's a link to it in the description box below. All paid members, if you're here and you paid to be a member on the other site on the Patreon, we're going to go over there and we're going to dig a little deeper. And I'm going to talk about a strategy that I've been researching and so forth, and I've been learning. I knew about it a long time ago, but I didn't dig into it. And it's called cloning. We're going to talk about that research in just a little bit over there on the other platform in just a few minutes, guys. So just a heads up, if you want to join us over there, there's a link in the description box below. You can also check out the free 24 Laws of Money in the description box below as well. You can also share the link to the video. Guys, you got to do me a favor. Come on. All this good information in the chat. Hit the like button for me. Just tap that thumbs up button for me. It helps get this information out to more and more people. So Nvidia stock, I believe, is still a buy. Just be patient. Earnings report is coming soon. Is it going to be a super duper duper duper? It's going to be a solid earnings report, I believe. That's what we're anticipating, right? A solid earnings report is coming. It's flatlined a little bit, starting to kind of ticker up just a little bit in the last week or so. But I think Nvidia, because of their overall fundamentals and all that good stuff, I think they're a buy. Looking at their quantitative and qualitative analysis, solid buy. Hey, thanks a lot, Christian. Appreciate that. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Hit your wagon to your star. Stay laser focused. Yep. Let's see here. Just reading through a few more of these. So we got Oklahoma in the house. Yeah, Walmart. Silly me. I should have known that earlier, right? Um, and we got a lot of chats. Let's see here. I'm missing a bunch of them. Blackwell. All right, bear with me here, guys. Yeah, I was way behind on the chats. My goodness, buy Nvidia. So I'm an Nvidia guy. I like Nvidia. I think they're solid. But I want you to pay attention to Broadcom and do your research on Broadcom. Ticker symbol AVGO. The 10-to-1 split is coming, and they're going to be down to maybe $170 a share. Notice, I want you to notice something here. These AI companies that have been at a tremendous boost over the last 6 months, 7 months, a year and a half, these AI companies are putting themselves in a position to still increase from here. I would not be surprised at all if in 2 years from now, we're back here talking on Smart Money Bro in the 2 years from now, and we're seeing Nvidia at $400 per share, and we're seeing Broadcom at $350 per share, $400 per share. I would not be surprised at all if that's the case. So if you're into individual stocks, and even if you're into ETFs, index funds, keep your eye on these companies. And there's some other ones that we've talked about as well, right? The AMDs and all those. We've talked about some of those as well, but keep your eye open. When things happen like this 10-to-1 split with Broadcom, hey, I want to talk about it because my goal on this channel is to make you a more informed investor, a more informed consumer, a better manager of your money, better manager of your higher paying skills, to help you make more, help you invest more, all that stuff. We talk about it all here because I want you to win with your money. And guess what? I don't have a course. No. Somebody said your money will go faster. See dividends. A banker on CNBC said today to not buy Nvidia because it has run too much, which said data has been solved. Listen, yes, Nvidia did run out of steam. Absolutely. The market told Nvidia, slow down. You're getting out of pocket. When Nvidia went to 135, 139, the market corrected Nvidia and said, you're overpriced, too much overvaluation. Stop it. The market did that. The market put it back in its place, back to 118, 119. Now, as we see what's happening, we see it slowly building a little bit of momentum. And I think it's still, at this point, not overvalued anymore. I think there was some overvaluation, absolutely. But it's come back down, right? It's corrected itself. So, hey, guys, I'm not going to hold you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining me on this Monday. You've already hit that like button for me. And if you haven't, go ahead and tap it. Check out the description box below for some free stuff. Website, smartmoneybro.com. Come visit us. Let me see if I can help you. If I can help you, you can get on my schedule. A link to my schedules below in the description box as well. Jump on my schedule. If you're taking some of my time, I got to charge you for time. But everybody's situation is different. Look, the fact that Walla Mala may or may not have Broadcom and Jay may or may not have Nvidia, they may be in different places of their life. Look, Orlando could be at a totally different place in his life than the other people. Everybody's situation is slightly different. That's why you do your own research over Broadcom and over Nvidia to see if it fits your core beliefs and core values, and to see if it's something that you want to invest in based on your goals. And everybody's goals are different, right? Very huge. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Again, we're going to jump over there at 8:05 or 8 o'clock maybe, Central Standard Time, my time, PM. We're going to be back on here probably on Thursday of this week, hitting another topic. We may look at CPI and see what's happening in the market as well. So looking forward to seeing you guys then again. Also, check out some of the links to the videos that are on this channel as well. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to this channel. If you are new to the video or new to this video, just got in here a few minutes ago, rewind this thing all the way back to the beginning and check out what we're talking about in terms of why I think Nvidia is still a buy and why I think you need to pay attention and do your research over Broadcom and make a decision if you want to be invested, not invested because of their 10-to-1 split that's upcoming. Appreciate you guys more than you know. Thank you for being here, and thank you for showing up and showing out. And listen, as I always say, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. Guys, do me a favor, take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.